In this video we're gonna check out how to play the character Veronica.
そのテクノロジーでカオスさえも征服した人類はさらなる進歩を遂げることができました。作戦は失敗です。
Let's take a look at her cards real quick first to see what she's all about. First of all, it's about firing preparation. You are always guaranteed to have that in your starting hand. That creates a ballista, which will deal damage to a random enemy whenever you would end your turn. Additionally, she's about a mechanic called reload. You can stack this reload up to 3 or 4 times, and the more reload stacks you have, the more damage your ballista will actually deal at the end of the turn. Then she is played as a sub DPS, and therefore she has a little bit of card draw in her kit that allows her to draw cards for other combatants. That is the reason why she is mainly played as a sub DPS. And all you really have to do is activate this ballista, right? So you are played at a very low AP cost, as you will always do your job by simply ending your turn. You will fire this ballista off, and that is pretty much all that Veronica does. Very AP friendly, very versatile, and a good sub DPS for every single main DPS out there. Now, there is in her skill tree, I can show you this right now here at potential, there is this node, and that adds a 20% chance to create a random ballista by using rapid fire. Rapid fire is her basic skill, this one right here, which you're always free to use, of course, if you have it in your hand, to create a second ballista to deal even more damage at the end of the turn. And this is great in the Chaos Manifestation or Zero system, because there you can get an upgrade that adds +1 hit to your basic cards. So whenever you would use a rapid fire, you would use it twice, and that gives you then a 40% chance to create a random ballista right there. And yeah, that's about her cards. Now let's jump into battle and see everything in action. So here we are. Yeah, like as I said, this is always the first thing that you always do in your first turn, is use firing preparation. Now you can see we created a ballista, and this will fire off at the end of every single turn. And then yeah, you just simply go from there and play your team. There's one card called Pendant of something that is very important for you to actually find, because this will give you stacks of reload whenever. Here, this is the ballista, by the way. This is a card that would give you 1 stack of reload every time one of your allies would use a skill. And this is the downside, the huge downside of Veronica, because you are reliant on this draw RNG to find this pendant card early. And as you can see, like if you don't find it early, just like me, then you lose a whole bunch of value that this character otherwise could have if you would find this card early. But yeah, of course, like you just use your upgrade cards, you will use rapid fire every time you find it. And other than that, you play whoever your main DPS would, or yeah, you play the other characters, right? It's really only about the ballista and gaining stacks of reload for Veronica. That is really all about, this is all there is to say about the character Veronica. She's very straightforward, very AP friendly, very easy to play here. Kowalski, of course, it draws you 2 cards, and I have the epiphany upgrade that whenever I would draw a skill card, I would create a ballista. And since Mika has a lot of skill cards in her kit, and you see even Veronica has has skill cards in her kit, I'm very likely to actually find that skill card, and therefore I create another ballista, right? But that is not a must-have epiphany or anything. Her epiphanies are not too important to begin with, that's why I didn't talk about them beforehand. But yeah, as I said, see, rapid fire, you always want to use this to have the chance to create another ballista. That didn't happen, unfortunately, but that is okay. It's only a 20% chance, so there is nothing to like cry about if you don't actually create that ballista. Then we have her hunting time, her ego skill, which is really good because you can see it will deal damage to all enemies. And in this case, there is a big boss here, and I would kill the ants. And it is very beneficial for me to actually kill these ants, because then my ballistas at the end of the turn will hit the boss instead of a weak ant. And that's why her ego skill is pretty good. Additionally, this ego skill also gives you max stacks, all 4 stacks of reload, which makes the ballistas here, the 2 that I have, hit extra damage. So the recommended way to really min-max the damage output for Veronica is that you create that. Now look, the turn that you use your ego skill, the one that I just used, you want to make sure that you use this at a turn where you can kill out of all the ants so that your ballistas hit the boss. You want to use this in a turn where you have multiple ballistas at your disposal and not just the regular one. So create a ballista via this epiphany upgrade for Sir Kowalski, or by lucking out on this 20% chance of rapid fire, you know what I mean? And now you will see that I fire off 2 ballistas which both hit the boss. Boom, boom, right? Yeah, okay, it was a little bit on the weaker side, so my first ballista already hit the boss. Another very important thing is that you, for your memory fragments, right, the gear that you equip to the characters, go all in on crit. There are also 2 nodes in the skill tree later on that give you critical hit chance and critical hit damage. So going all out for crit for Veronica is very beneficial. As you just saw, like these ballistas, they hit for like over 1000 damage when you crit. That is super good. And also we use our basic skills, and in the 0 system these basic attacks, they hit twice, making the critical chance stacking via your gear and skill tree even more beneficial. Yeah, then this one right here, the illusion of golden whatever, daffodils or something, it gives you a shield. That is a card that if you can get rid of it, if you can remove it out of your deck while you are on a run in 0 system, that would be really good, because this is a card that is completely useless and just clogs up your hand. Veronica is not here to add like defensive stuff or like shields to our team, right? She's here to deal damage with her ballistas and get the stacks of reload, so that the ballistas actually deal respectable damage. And yeah, that's about it. And see, this is the one that you want to find. This is the Pendant of Resolution. I found this now extremely late, so I missed out on a whole lot of damage because I cannot stack my reload via using skill cards. Now I finally found it, right? And yeah, I have this Epiphany upgrade right here, where I get 2 stacks of reload, and I retrieve this card. And I retain it. So let me show you what that does. I use it, I gain 2 stacks of reload. Now since this card has retrieve 4, it comes back. Now I can use it again. Now I have maxed out my reload stacks here to 4. And that is what I want to do next turn as well, so that my ballistas hit, right? Now preferably I get rid of as many ads here as possible, so that my ballista again has the highest amount of chance actually hitting the boss. You can see here, hits a random enemy, that doesn't matter. boom, it hit the boss and it crit for almost 1000 damage, you know what I mean? You see how beneficial this crit rate is, right? So yeah, max the crit rate out via your skill tree, via your gear as much as you possibly can. Here, like in a case like this, you always want to use, if you have this skill card available, you pretty much always want to use this first, because you now draw skill cards for your main DPS, which are most of the times more beneficial than the skills for Veronica would be. This of course helps you cycle through your deck as well, right? Always get the stacks of reload. So now we have to make a decision here. That is a very, very interesting situation, because we have 1 AP left, right? And now we have two options here. Either we use Sir Kowalski, that creates another ballista. That is an epiphany upgrade, right? But yeah, he would give you normally like not stacks of reload, but he would make your ballista deal more flat out damage at the end of the turn. Is that better than getting stacks of reload? It is better than getting 1 stack of reload, which without epiphany upgrades, this pendant gives you only 1 stack of reload. Here, using Sir Kowalski, who increases, without the epiphany upgrade, your flat out damage with your ballista, would be more beneficial. So prioritize Sir Kowalski. Because I have these epiphany upgrades here, I would draw cards, and that is not what I want to do, right? Sure, I could create a second ballista here, which would be quite good, but it is not as good, and it is a little bit RNG, because what if I don't draw a skill card? Then I don't create a ballista. So giving me just flat out 2 stacks of reload is, in my specific case here, more beneficial. But yeah, without epiphany upgrades, prioritize Sir Kowalski. It goes firing preparation, pendant, and then Sir Kowalski. That is like your priority list. You should know what your priority list is, right? It's firing preparation, pendant, and then Kowalski under normal circumstances. And yeah, that is really all there is to say about Veronica. We covered even niche scenarios right here. So talked about the ego skill, about the priorities, how to play her, what, like, you know, focus the ads down, yada yada. You know everything that you need to know about Veronica. And again, it doesn't matter what characters you pair Veronica with, she will always do her job. By the way, once you see this video, I will be live on twitch.tv streaming some Zero system grind and some Basin of Hyperspace attempts. Feel free to stop by, say hello, hang out with me a little bit, talk to me about Chaos Zero Nightmare or whatever you want, and yeah, hope to see you there. That's about the video, guys. I hope this video was fun and informative. If you like Chaos Zero Nightmare content in general, please consider leaving a follow on my channel, I would really appreciate that. But until next time, don't forget to join the Discord server, link to that in the description down below. Take care of yourselves, have a great day, peace and love. Let me finish off this boss real quick and then, yeah, peace and love, guys.